Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Clay Dub, LG is in the house. Of course, my man Al in the background making it happen. Of course, I'm Jonah
The
Willis,
GOAT.
Generation Next. Hey, Clay, I'm in workout mode. You was asking me why I'm in the hoodie, man. It's time to get in shape for football season, bro. I'm trying to come in at
Hey, man,
185 lean. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like
feel
Floyd
you.
Mayweather. I'm coming through that thing like Floyd Mayweather, Money Mayweather coming through that thing. You understand what I'm saying? So,
I feel you,
listen,
dog.
last week, Clay, we talked about, preseason kickoff classics. We talked about the preseason face up and the different states that we'll be in this year. But, today we'll talk about champions. But before we jump into those champions, and we talk about from 6U to 14U, let's talk about Alabama, Texas, and there's going to be some coaches that's going to jump on here. We'll talk about those particular matchups, but some new names. Of course, what makes us different here, of course, at Generation Next and Youth National Championships, and of course, brought to you by Battle, is that finding new talent. Years ago, Clay, I always go to the story where they laughed us off the block talking about Louisville Chargers. They didn't know who those guys were. It's only a basketball state, and those guys put up 3 championships back to back. Of course, people knew about the Miami Gardens Ravens, South Florida always being a powerhouse in football. You knew about the Georgia Seminoles, and then they changed their names to a couple of things. Those teams were always teams you knew about. But then the Cane Archers appeared out of Kansas City, appeared out of nowhere. Teams that you weren't familiar as these marquee names. And then City Life came out of nowhere, out of the DMV area, because it was always Walking Hornets. It was always,
Yep.
Clock Boys. Those were the names that you always knew about. So what we take pride about is really just finding some of these top teams that come out of nowhere, man, and they start making a name for themselves. And we'll kind of meet some of those coaches once our producer gets us. He'll have them on the queue. But man, talk about some teams that you used to be on television with your boys, with Mizell and all those guys. But some teams that just made and paved their way. Are like More Truth that came out of nowhere, man. We saw them come out of Texas and compete. And to get on this level with the YNC, yeah, they haven't been able to get on that main stage yet for a championship. But these are teams that's making a splash in the Youth Football National Championships.
So, that's the beautiful thing about going through the preseason, I believe, man. Opportunity to kind of see these teams firsthand up close. For me, whenever I'm taking a look at a team, I want to see them, in person to kind of get a feel for, number one, how the
Right.
coaches react on the sideline, how the kids reacting, how they handle adversity, how they get when they up big. Do they get complacent, or do they have that killer instinct to go in there and just, slice another team's head off? Those are the things that I look at. A team like More Truth, I saw them early last year at the West Memorial event that Coach Street and SCD has in Dallas, man, and I was impressed with them. And then obviously, just like anything else, when you put a tag on somebody, everybody is gunning for them, and they got knocked off throughout the process, but was able to rebound and build their resume back up to earn the invitation to the Youth National Championship. So if I'm thinking about some teams, man, that over the years that have kind of come out of nowhere, top of my list I got to talk about is the Pearland Hurricanes. Last year, a team that made it to the YNC National Championship. I think they took the whole nation by storm at the
Yeah.
YNC when Landon Callis and the Pearland Hurricanes totally dismantled the Lauderhill Lions. I mean, that was
Yeah.
something that nobody was expecting after Lauderhill had just played such a tremendous game against, at that time, two-time defending YNC national champion Louisville Chargers. Other teams that I think about that have kind of come from out of nowhere. And this particular team hadn't come from out of nowhere, but last year they finally got over the hump, which was OG Ducks. For
Yeah.
many years they had a team that could not win the big game, couldn't win the national championship, losing the semifinals, losing the championship game. And then they finally were able to get over the hump. So this year I think you've got several teams that are going to come on that that are basically going to be able to, keep everything pushing.
Gotcha. Absolutely. So, AG just gave us some news on check your queue real quick, Clay.
Okay. Oh man, so we got to start this thing over then, huh? Oh
Uh,
man.
that's if I'm accurate. Am I accurate there, producer?